we have had a really amazing 2 days. I'm Gretchen Chapman. Ernie Lepore and I are the acting co-directors of the Center for Cognitive Science. And I don't want to speak for Ernie, but for myself, I really want to emphasize that word acting. Because, you know, Rochel and Randy were the real directors of cognitive science, so anybody that comes after is really just acting. Dana, could you get Sue and Joanne to come in here, please?
Yes, indeed.
So I just want to give a few thank yous. So the first thank you is to Chris and Rodimus, who are here on this side. They are the IT staff for the Center for Cognitive Science, so they've been doing all of our technical stuff for this conference, so thanks very much to them. And next I want to thank all of you for being here. Every single person that we asked to do something for this conference said yes. So we didn't have anybody who said no, and many of you rearranged major things in your life to be here. So I think that says something about what Randy and Rochel mean to you. Mm-hmm. And most importantly, I want to thank the business office staff of the Cognitive Science Center, Sue Cosentino and Joanne Melly, who are in the back here. They did a huge amount of work. So there are a couple people who did not have time to give a brief tribute yesterday when we were doing toast, so we're going to spend a few minutes making time for those folks to do that now. I know Barbara wants to do that. And then if it would be appropriate, we're going to give the final word to Randy and Rochel.
So I'm very honored to be here because I'm not a collaborator and I'm not a student, not of these people. But one of the wonderful things about our field is that our colleagues become our friends, and then we become friends with their friends. And I want to tell a little bit of a story about that. So, back in Israel, it's about probably 1969, 1970. Nobody visited Israel then. Nobody. Okay, my life is broken up into wars, children, moves across the world, and so forth. So that was sometime after the Six-Day War, before the Yom Kippur War. I think after my first child was born. We're in the basement of an obscure building, and Randy and Rochel walk in shorts, sandals, looking like American tourists, and they find us. Okay, and I think we had you over, is that right?
Yes.
I think so. Yeah, I think you came over and we talked and talked and talked.
Yes.
And there's something about chemistry. It's not every colleague becomes a friend. There's something about chemistry that when you start talking to people, you feel like you've known them forever. There's something, some sense you have in the closeness that you know them and you can talk with them straight. And that happened then. And it resumed at Stanford about 10 years later, when there was a magical period with a whole lot of people there. We were on sabbatical, not thinking we were staying. You were at the center. There was a lot going on. That's not for public. Anyway, another time, we'll tell you a lot going on. By then there was Adam, and again the friendship got renewed. And then we jumped forward to, we're all in New York. And Randy and Rochel adopted me into their family in both senses of the word. So I've spent many feasts, intellectual and culinary, around their table in Chelsea, a fewer, and around my table uptown a bit. And those have been magical evenings. So I want to thank you for your friendship and for including me and for making me part of both worlds.
Hello, I am not a psychologist, so I felt a little uncomfortable last night saying anything. But I thought I had to say something because I'm the person who probably worked as hard as anyone in recruiting Randy and Rochel to come to Rutgers. Back then, they visited for a very short visit, and I convinced them to come back and visit for entire semester. I had to then be on board, gave me a nice, lovely budget for recruitment purposes only. I interpreted that to mean good meals. So we were one of the finer restaurants in the area. That's as Jerry Porter likes to say, by local standards. We held court every week. We did such a good job that the university now has a policy that we can't use university funds to run that restaurant anymore. But at the end of it, it was up me against the psychology department. The psychology department was worried that I was going to hire 2 celebrities, and they would come in and just collect salaries and never come down the hall to psychology. And I can remember the then chair looked at me in the eye and telling me to hear this, and I looked at him saying, "Oh, I promise you that won't happen." And I was thinking, "You're going to wish they stand on the end of the hall." And the consequence of that is, I no longer crossed the plane from the cognitive science center into the psychology department with fear. At that point in my life, I was afraid to go down there because I thought people would say, "Oh, those one of those cognitive science people, stay away from them." And now I walk down there with pride. And I think that I owe that entirely to Mandy and Rochel, and the rest of my colleagues, particularly Mandy and Rochel. So it's been great having them here as my friends. I'm not saying goodbye because they're not going anywhere, but I thought I needed to say something. So yeah, I love you both, and thanks for coming here and making life good. In some sense, I think it's, I'm also a person who played a large role in recruiting Jerry Bowder here, but that was different because this was something, a different discipline. And at the time, there was a feeling that the Cognitive Science Center was like Jerry's playground, or it was a philosophy club. It didn't look like the future of cognitive science was going to hang on being a philosophy club. It was very important that we sort of re-anchored inside the psychology club. I think with Rochel and Randy's help, we succeeded in doing that. So thank you.
I literally cannot thank you enough. This has been very, very special for both Rochel and me. And that all of you took the trouble to come here. It's words, I can't find the words to express how grateful we are and how much it has meant to us. I also want to comment on the extraordinary quality of the talks that we have heard. I'm sorry? Oh, okay. I think in events like this, they're a bit like festures and so on. The quality of the contributions is often not terribly high, but I think most of you will agree that we have heard as about as fine a sequence of scientific presentations as I have ever heard. So it's made us deeply proud and deeply grateful to, I don't know exactly to whom, at our immense good fortune in having had such distinguished colleagues and students. To see your student, those of you who haven't reached an advanced age, I don't think can grasp just how great a pleasure it is to see some student who has become a prominent scientific researcher stand up and knock the ball right out of the park in terms of the clarity and the depth of thinking and so on. So it's a wonderful, wonderful pleasure. And so we've been fortunate in innumerable ways, fortunate in our family, live near us, our wonderful granddaughters and so on, but also extremely fortunate in the staff that we have worked with. I just want to repeat, when Gretchen said that Sue and Joanne had worked hard, you don't know the half of it. They were up at 5 in the morning, they were here until 10 or 11 at night. They have knocked themselves out, and it's almost unheard of to have that degree of competence and loyalty from staff. So we've been immensely fortunate, and I just want to offer a round of applause for the audience.
When we agreed to come up to do this, Randy said he'd take only a minute. So he ended up taking my speech. Can you imagine living with him? say, well, actually, a couple of things left for me to say. One is, Paul Rosen kind of started it all by going back into my history, which is very different than Randy's. I grew up in Toronto in an upper middle class ghetto with parents who had not even finished high school because they were in Eastern Europe and avoiding programs. I did have the luck of being in this upper middle class ghetto where all the kids and the teachers were very good. But to be honest, it was easy, so I did pretty well in school, and I cared much more about who I was going out with. I also learned how to raise money for charities. And so my mother's assumption was that I would end up as president of Hadassah. Paul, makes sense. And I really wasn't an intellectual until I went to college. And then there's one accident after another that led me to a teacher who said, I don't care what you think you're going to do, you're going to do that. You're going to be in honors. That was a dean, because I had gotten a first in the first year, unheard of. And I wouldn't let anybody go into a regular course. And then, a couple who are not here today, but who are our intellectual parents, the Mandlers. George Mandler happened to be in charge of the honors program. And he said, go home and tell your parents that your teachers say you have to go away to graduate school. Now, in the context of Judaism, the teacher's the rabbi. Well, if that's what they say, I don't know what to say, but I'm not going to pay for it. I said, well, I'm going to get a fellowship. Well, it's out of my hands. And I asked, where could I go? And I was told, anywhere you want to go. Unlike what's going on today. Many of the people in this audience, by accident, ended up at Penn. And I've heard one story after another like that. And what made it so wonderful was that the environment was into treating everybody equally and smart. And everybody was required to work very hard, but be nice. So it wasn't a conflict kind of situation. What's incredible is that has gone on to the next two generations, some of whom are here. Somehow they assimilated that, and so there's all this talk about grandchildren and great-grandchildren and so on. So the fact that there's been quite a bit of talk about Penn simply has to do with the fact that there was this period that generated a huge number of people in psychology today. Stanford has done that too, but nobody thought it was going to happen at Penn. So we do have to thank people for that. From my point of view, the final comment on my side is this has been humbling for me. It's exciting, but like I just said, I didn't expect it to be where I would be today. Now, to follow up on what Randy had to say, this has been an extraordinary intellectual event on two fronts. One, every speaker took time when they started to educate the audience. An amazing ability. And then move forward in into what they're doing now. Just incredible. And it leads me to say, well, maybe we should have a new book called Cognitive Science, right? Everyone read a chapter? But we have to preserve it. And here's my message. We are going to preserve it. We have, as you may have noticed, videotaped everything. And it's going to take a while, but I've been told it's not unreasonable for me to work with our technical staff to produce something that either goes on a disc and back to you, or even on the internet. I mean, it'll be complicated as to what decision we make, but there will be a record of what you did. It will be sensibly edited, and it might take a lot of time, but you can count on it happening. I thank especially our technical staff who have been here editing, videotaping everything. So when you're worried you had to write something down, I knew I didn't have to. All right? Which really made it so much easier to listen. So no, we're not going to ask for chapters.
We would like you to send the slides, though, please. Email the slides.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Okay, and you can tell us which ones you're not allowed to put up, because maybe you have a picture of a baby for whom you don't have permission, but we can manage it. Okay. All right. So we're done, but not done. Okay? We're done for having this incredible intellectual event, for having so many friends get together, for having friends meet friends, which of course is one of the major functions of having meetings. I in particular made my younger students come because they had to meet other people who would know what they were doing. So it's been successful, I gather, even at that level, and it's very important that you all were here. And what can I say other than, not only were the talks wonderful, and not only are the staff fantastic, which you've already been told about, my only final comment is, boy, do we love you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Once again. I mean, if you're a senior faculty member, you know what a nightmare that is. So yeah, we're thinking of coming to Rutgers. In 10 years, we're thinking of we're moving. And so they get in and make an offer. And I go to see the dean. It turns out, for reasons you didn't know, but he tells me, he's been on the phone to the provost at Penn, and they both agreed that somehow they would do what best was for us. And I said to him, "You didn't talk about Rutgers?" He said, "Of course not." And I said, "You sound just like my son." He said, "Mom, we went from a fancy Ivy League university to a state university, and now you tell me you're going to go to Rutgers?" Thank you, Ernie.